Well, addiction is not something people like to talk about, but if you are suffering or you have a loved one that needs help, our next guests are here for you. Greg Hannley and Danile Baldwin with Soba Recovery are back, along with the lovely Tara Connor, Miss USA 2006, and recovery advocate. Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
You guys look snazzy.
You look snazzy.
You look great in your little winter gear. Can you believe how cool it is in Texas?
It's
This is
so
big for
nice.
us.
It was 7 degrees when I got on the plane
This is nothing
in,
for you.
in upstate New York. So this is like, no,
Yeah.
this isn't bad.
Well, we panic when it's under 60.
Doesn't it get really cold
Break out
here
the
in the
parkas.
winter, though?
Really? You're looking at it. This is it.
This is great.
I know. It's nice. I like it. It's good hair weather.
Yes.
Look at Daniel. It's obvious.
I mean,
Good hair weather today.
Like it.
That's right. I like it. All right, guys. So this is the time of year, and we've talked about this before. Just the fact that the holidays can be such a difficult time for somebody who is in recovery. Why, first of all, why is it so hard? And also, what can people do as they head into the holidays and they're going to be going to all these events and seeing these big families? What can they do to stay calm and stay on track?
well, I think the reason why it's hard is because addiction is a family disease, and everyone's affected by the addict or by the codependent or whatever. We all need some type of treatment. And so when you know that you're going to be around your family and it just stirs up all of those things that usually wouldn't bother you, but it just seems like your anxiety's at a 10.
And
around
you
the
know that
holidays.
going into it, right?
Yeah.
Is it automatic?
Well, I think a majority of those people that have, a vast majority actually, that have an addiction problem, that's just the byproduct of an underlying issue that they have.
Right.
And you can trace that underlying issue back to your
family.
childhood and your family. So now you're about to throw yourself into the fire
it again.
of being with all these relatives.
Yeah.
And Greg will tell you, that this is a very, very tenuous time for an addict.
Especially if you hurt a lot of people.
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
Upset a lot of people.
you get
or-
sober, and
Yeah.
then you go to an event, and you think everybody is just fine because
Right.
there was a parade for you getting sober, and then you go in and realize that the last Christmas. You ruined it,
Right.
Or the the holiday,
Or you
and-
weren't
and
there.
people were, or you weren't there. People, and it's kind of like I always had to prepare for what I was going to do and kind of pick and choose my parties. And,
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, make sure that I had kind of an advance.
A game plan.
Yeah, a game
Going
plan
in.
to where if things got a little tricky, then I had an exit strategy.
But that's why having such a strong support system, especially in early sobriety, is so important, because if you're just going in with the same gang that you did when you were out there, then you're going to get the same results, right? So I know for me, like, I up my meetings, I stay really close, I go to sober functions.
You're really proactive.
It is
Going
funny,
into
people
it.
will go, well, yeah, do you mind if I drink? Or,
Yeah, that's
things,
my favorite.
things don't
True.
change, and they get
Yeah.
a little uncomfortable sometimes,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like, go have fun, have your
Enjoy.
Christmas cheer.
Yeah.
Yes.
We want you
You
to
know,
have
and the
fun.
nice
We
thing is,
encourage
if
drinking.
you overdo it, I can drive you home.
I'm
Right.
a sober driver.
Yes.
That's the cool thing, is you always have someone.
And that's very interesting you say that, because as I go to more and more family things, I've just moved this last year back to a bunch of family. And there are normies in the family, believe it or not, in my family. Not many, but there are.
Daniel.
But when you watch those that aren't sober,
Yeah.
and I would love to put a camera up, a hidden camera, and watch their behavior and show them what an hour in, what 2 hours in. And by the end of the night, you got, Uncle so-and-so and my nephew, and they're going, Uncle Jay! And you look at them going, who is that
Oh
person?
gosh,
Yeah,
embarrassing.
bad.
Quit that right now.
Stop it.
Yeah, but I know y'all, I just wanted to bring that up because I know you say a lot that this is a really hard time of year for a lot of people that are dealing with that. I also want to talk just a bit about something that I feel like we continue to rehash, but only because we want more action. So the president has declared a state of emergency when it comes to the opiate addiction and the problem. Since last time we talked, anything happened?
No.
Still nothing.
Nothing.
Nada.
And
I was hoping you'd have some good news
He
for me.
didn't declare a state of emergency. He declared what is it, like a health thing?
A health crisis,
Health
a
crisis, which only gives us 90 days to figure things out. So how many days are we in? And we have 172 people dying a day.
Yeah, I know.
The
It's
So it's
statement,
kind of like you would know
awful.
if something changed.
Yeah.
Right.
And nothing has changed Nothing's changed.
Nothing's
What
changed.
can people do to try to bring about that change? What can
They
just
have to
anyone
beat
sitting at
down
home, what can
doors.
they do?
They have to go to their senators. They have to go to their, local PTAs, whatever, and they need to raise some HE double hockey sticks.
Yeah.
Imelda Marcos declared she has a lot of shoes. So
So
what?
No
What are you
one
going to do
cares.
about it?
You have to,
You know?
have to realize this is a human rights issue.
Yes.
And really, there should be protest in the streets
Yeah.
about this. Calling it even an issue. This is a crisis.
It's a
An
crisis.
understatement.
Yeah, and it's just not getting better. It's getting worse.
Yeah.
And
I know,
it's killing
so
our
frustrating.
kids. Our kids are dying.
Have you read this task force report to the president? I read it page for page. It is such a joke. It really is. I'm sorry. It's a joke. You should have called me. You should have called him. You should have called her.
That's right.
You should have returned our calls because
Right.
you screwed it up. They screwed it up.
They screwed it up.
They now, this is a big part of the plan. They now want to turn around for the same exact pharmaceutical companies that introduced the drugs that now have the cure.
Mm-hmm.
They want to treat them with these medicines now. This is going to be the answer. So
Right.
again,
More
when you
medicine.
know that 95, the guy who created the problem now has the cure. So you've got the full cycle.
Yeah.
Let's continue to create more problems and not regulate the distribution of those medications. And now, by the way, don't worry about going to treatment. We're going to screw you on the back end and not let your insurance cover it. This is what when Greg opened Soba, and he went to one of the best, biggest reputation places before Soba in Malibu, where all the big celebrities and stars go. And so he wrote down all the things that work and all the things that don't work. And we slashed out all the things that don't work and then enhanced the
with
things that
what
work. And so if you think,
It comes to length of time, always. You need a long time in treatment
Bingo.
to be able to get better
Right.
from the things that bother you. And
And if you're just detoxing off of these medications that they're saying are good to detox off of, then you're not even clearing the brain.
why can Chris Christie say what he said in the governor of New Jersey at the time, that it is mandatory if you are an insurance carrier in the state of New Jersey that you cover 90 days inpatient treatment? He said that, and the state decided to. Why can't the president of the United States say, you know what, we
could.
have
Or
to?
every state.
He could.
He
He
could.
could,
Every
and he
state.
hasn't done it yet.
All right, guys, we got to take a quick break, but we will have more with Soba when we come back.
Hi, I'm Danile Baldwin, and this is Soba Texas, where I got sober. When you come to Soba, you're not going to a hospital. You're going to a beautiful ranch. You're going to a place of peace where you're going to join a family of people that have a common problem, addiction or alcohol. Your treatment plan is made by the clinicians here at Soba, depending upon the circumstances in your life, not like one size fits all. It starts with a phone call. Someone will answer the phone and talk you through exactly what your needs are. Call now.
And we are back with Soba Recovery. Greg and Daniel and Tara are here. And we always talk about your latest issue of Recovery Today. And you have a guy on the cover that's kind of a big deal. You've got Nikki Sixx,
Yeah.
who is from Motley Crue. He's on the cover, and he wrote, he wrote his story, and they published his book 10 years ago. It's called The Heroin Diaries. And then in celebration of the anniversary, they're redoing it. Going to be reissued again, right? So he said, and I love this, when he was talking about just writing the book in the article, he said he was told that if you write this book, it will be career suicide. And his response was, if just one person gets it besides me, I'm going to be totally stoked.
Yep.
And of course they did.
Right.
A whole lot of people
well, and the
coming
guy
out
who
and saying
did
it
the
saved my
interview
life.
is he's world-renowned motocross jumping guy, Colin Scummy Morrison.
Yeah.
And that book saved his life.
That's what he said.
Yeah, he
That's
said
so
that.
cool.
That's why he decided to get sober. And Nikki Sixx is cool. And you look at him and you go, that's sober guys. The guys that we're bumping into that are finally coming out of the sober closet and saying
Making
that I've
being
been
sober
clean and
cool.
sober. I found out the other day that a huge celebrity is 22 years sober.
Right.
One that is everybody knows and's never said a word about it.
Wow.
And I go,
Just quietly.
Yeah, we're trying to get him to come over here.
Oh, it's a him. We know it's a
Yeah.
him. I was wondering if it was a he or a she.
Well, I think that what's so great about it is when people do come out to talk about their recovery, they show that it's possible and that there's a solution, there's a way up and out, and even a celebrity can be affected by addiction. I mean, no one's exempt from this disease, but people need to know that there's a way out and that there's hope and that it's okay, that they're not going to be like, have stones thrown at them.
And Greg always says, all of you guys are saying, it's cool to be sober. It is the cool thing to do now.
I can't get my head out of, you know, I played a lot of golf at Malibu Country Club with Vince. And I had a night out with those guys. That is, even for me in the record
I had a
books,
bad night with them too.
I had a night out with those guys that will go down in history.
I did not.
No, neither did I.
Thank goodness.
So we
Thank
wouldn't
goodness
know.
for you guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't have remembered if you were there.
So it wouldn't have mattered
Yes, you
anyway.
would have. I was a memorable drunk.
He
saying.
seems like a really cool guy, though.
Yeah,
He
he's
really
fun.
does,
He's
Nikki.
a funny guy.
Would have liked to have met him.
Well, and he doesn't mind talking about it.
Yeah, that's
you
the
know,
best part.
The powerful thing, you got people who are saying you're going to be ruined, and he says, if I save one life, it's
Right.
worth it.
I don't care.
And that's what it comes down to. Speak up.
Yeah,
sure.
because it's not about you anymore. It's about giving back. It's about what can you do to help someone else, because it can't just always be about us. Our selfishness is what kills us.
Well, that's what you guys do. That's all you do now is you help people, you spread the word. And we have viewer questions, and I love this because we always get so many of them, and I thought we could get to at least one of them before we go to break. So this is off of Facebook. It says, I'm in recovery and not looking forward to all these holiday gatherings and spending so much time with family. Is it wrong if I can't stay for long? How do I explain my feelings to my family and friends? I guess they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. They don't want to offend anybody.
They don't have the power to hurt anyone's feelings. You know what I mean? People are going to take things personally if they want to, but it has nothing to do with the person that decides they need to leave. And no is a complete sentence. And being able to change your mind is absolutely okay. There is no life police out there.
So when I was new, I thought that I had to explain everything to save feelings.
Yeah.
I don't have to explain.
It's your
you know,
life.
I can go in and say I got to go, I got to do something. If there's something, when I was getting high, I could find an exit.
Always.
Always.
You know?
Way out.
So
Or back.
it's kind of like, and they understand. People, they get all wrapped up and stuff, and you go, you know, I'm going to go to a meeting. I'm going to. You can even just take a break and go take a walk for a few minutes, but
Well,
you don't have to explain anything.
No, and I learned 9 times I went until I found him and went to his place. 9 times.
It's a lot of times.
And you know, the biggest ones and the supposed to be the best ones, until I went to this little place in Malibu, and I learned a really valuable lesson. One he taught me, and one my wife taught me. And Robin said to me, Daniel, nice people say no. It's okay to say no. So what I learned was, and this is a great part of it, if you want to go, but it's okay to not go. If you're early in your sobriety, and you know that this puts you in any, remember Greg says all the time, if a mom thinks something is wrong, something's wrong.
Right.
If you're already resonating that this might be tricky for me, and you're in your first few months of sobriety, you don't have really a lot, don't go.
go.
Go to your
Yes.
girlfriend's house.
Yes.
Go to, better yet, there's always sober Christmas functions and stuff.
Always.
You can go be of service. You can go. There's plenty of safe places to go have a big old
Go
ham
feed
and
the
turkey
homeless.
dinner.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know where they're going to go?
Yes.
They're going to get mad at you because you're going to go feed the
It's
homeless.
like, sorry,
That's
guys,
always a
I
good
have
out.
to go feed the homeless.
But you know what? If you really think it's starting to bother, don't put your sobriety risk. I always thought I had to go. I always thought I had to go, and my older brother had been sober for years, and I always felt less than because he could
Right.
do it. My younger brother, Stephen, got sober, and I couldn't do it. And I'd be around all them, and they'd all be sitting, and then I'd have the rest of the alcoholics in the family still drinking. And then the two of them going, what's what? Make sure he doesn't pick up that glass.
Yeah, that's not a fun situation.
I
That
just
is not-
stopped going.
That is not a good time.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean,
I go like this, and I say,
I saw that I was going to die. Like, I saw that I was going to die before I got sober. And so my life isn't worth not saying no to someone. Like, my life is more important than your feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what people need to remember for sure. Okay, we have more viewer questions, and we will get to those after the break. And we are back with Soba Recovery, and we want to get to another viewer question. And I feel like this one will hit home for a lot of people. What is the best way to talk to someone you think may have a problem with prescription drugs?
Just say it.
Just
Don't
come out
dance
and
around
say
it. Be like, hey, that's not normal. You're taking those a lot.
People are scared to do that.
You
They
know,
Just come
are.
out and say it.
And that's one of the reasons why, particularly at Soba Texas, if you call and it starts, as Alex always says, with a conversation, you're going to get Alex, you're going to get Janie, you're going to get even Greg sometimes. You call and you can come down and talk to us, do a tour, and they're going to help you answer those questions.
Right.
But sitting down live with someone, free of charge, come down and take a tour of the facility and tell them what's going on, or get on the phone and call with no obligation and say, here's what's going on. My husband hurt his back, he's starting to act a little crazy, he's been on the pills, and they're going to walk you through that.
Right.
You need to call over to Soba Texas, particularly people that are watching this show. You're coming into the holidays. It's time to reclaim this loved one's life, you know. Give them that holiday gift of their
Right.
life back.
I think people are nervous if they've never experienced this. They're thinking, well, am I jumping the gun? You know, do I? But I mean,
Well, you can find out. Yeah, you know, the
Yeah.
thing is this, is if you're worried about somebody, there's usually something to worry about.
Right.
Worried for a reason.
And there's changes that cause this in people. And the thing I know with me is that I went into treatment December 15th. And when I was doing the interview for treatment, I just went in for an evaluation and ended up staying.
That's right.
But I was talking to the guy, and he goes, so when do you think you need to come? And I was going, let's see, I've got Christmas, I have New Year's, a couple days to recover. I'm thinking like January 4th would be a good day. I go, so when do you think? And he goes, well, yeah, I was thinking right now.
Right.
And I go,
Immediately.
right now? I can't go right now. I have the holidays and things. And the best thing I did for my family was be in treatment. They got to have like a safe, mellow Christmas. I
Their
got
hearts
to
were at
make it
peace.
through, and it was like a gift that I gave them by going into treatment over the holidays. And you know, it was. I'm so glad that I did, because I don't know if I would have made it to January the 4th.
and you just had a big celebration.
Yeah, 13.
13 years.
13.
Yeah.
Jenna, congratulations. And you did too.
I did 11 years.
And it's her birthday.
And
I was
it's my
just about to say,
birthday.
today's Tara's birthday.
Hey!
Happy birthday. I can't believe you're spending it with us.
22.
Yeah, she
30,
does.
thank
That's-
you.
Look at her.
That's what
32.
service is. She comes here and does this
does.
on her birthday.
Well, I also wanted to say to that point, when you're sick, okay, when I got back from Paris and I was sick, I went straight to urgent care because I wanted to feel better, right? So no one should be afraid to call up Soba and say, hey, I'm sick, or I think I might be sick, I'm not sure what it is. Can I come in and get an evaluation? Because it's like going home, and it's safe, and it's comfortable, and they love you, and it's such an amazing environment. I was in treatment during the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, best thing that ever happened to me.
And your family.
And my family.
Well, sometimes the most that you could get somebody to commit to, like they did with me, is just to come in and talk.
Right.
And the whole deal was, okay, I'm going to go in to talk, but when they tell you I don't have a problem, you guys need to leave me alone, quit messing with me. And
Right.
so I have people that come in and sit down and talk with me at the treatment center, and I'll go, let me talk to them for a minute. And then I'll say, how you doing? And they'll go, yeah, I'm great. And I go, how you really doing? Yeah, I'm not so great.
Right.
I'm not
Ask
so
them
great.
again.
And
Always
I
ask
go,
someone a
"Look,"
second time.
And once people realize the ease of this, that because it's a scary idea to even
Heck
make
yeah.
a phone call or go to treatment, but we make it so that it's going to be calm and easy and understanding from the get-go. The nurses are nice, the doctors are nice,
No
the people are
judgment
there
zone.
to take care of you, and we have beds right now.
Right.
People could come today
Yeah.
and get help.
And that's the duality of it there. That was what the difference was on the 9th time for me. I was scared every time, even the 9th time, but I wasn't punished or judged, or I was really loved by people I didn't even know, that just because of the commonality that they were addicts to. A lot of people that are at Soba have been through the system, so they know what it's like. So the idea that I was going to go to a place that I was actually giving my family the best gift that I could give them by trying to get sober again was the greatest Christmas they had. It was the best thing I could have possibly given them. There was nothing I could have given my children that was better than that.
I believe that 100%. All right, guys. Well, we have more with Soba. What you can do today, right now, if you think you need help, if there's someone you really love that you think needs help, we are going to tell you exactly what you can do after the break. Welcome back, and we are back with Soba Recovery, and Alex is joining us. And you know, again, we were saying if there's someone who feels like they're in trouble, they have a problem, they have someone they love who is in trouble, what can they do today?
It starts with the phone call. Just reach out to us. Jane should be answering the phones like right now
Jane
if you
is
call.
waiting.
And
She's
you can
waiting.
come out, get an evaluation, an assessment like these guys were talking about. Come out and do a tour or ask a question. And like they mentioned, the greatest thing you can do right now for your family is to come in and be in treatment during Christmas instead of going to the family Christmas party where people are wondering, oh great, what is he going to do?
And
Your
worrying
kid
every
is in the
second.
room you're worrying about, just go to the room, knock on the door, load him in the car, and drive out there.
But he brings up a really
Literally.
good point
If
that I
it
was
was
about
my
to say.
kid, that's what I would do.
Yeah,
Yeah, me
you know, I
too.
mean, you're not condemning him or something,
No.
but bring him out and let him come see it, because Greg brings up a really good point, and Alex too, when they've described Soba before. People think it's a hospital or that you're going to jail. Or you're going,
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful
It's
ranch with
beautiful.
animals and
Yes.
activities and stuff
Horses.
going on.
It's interesting you say that. 10 out of 10 times when a family member brings somebody out and they actually personally come out, they might even be drunk when they're looking around, they end up staying.
Because
And they
it's
realize
such a
what it
beautiful,
is.
Yeah.
peaceful
Yeah.
place. Well, Soba Texas is open. Call them today. There is the number. You can also go to sobatexas.com. Thank y'all so much for being here. Happy holidays.
Happy
We'll
holidays.
see you in 2018.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss
Merry
you until then.
Christmas.
Happy birthday, Tara.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Hi, I'm Danile Baldwin, and this is Soba Texas, where I got sober. When you come to Soba, you're not going to a hospital. You're going to a beautiful ranch. You're going to a place of peace where you're going to join a family of people that have a common problem, addiction or alcohol. Your treatment plan is made by the clinicians here at Soba, depending upon the circumstances in your life, not like one size fits all. It starts with a phone call. Someone will answer the phone and talk you through exactly what your needs are. Call now.